Are you tired of feeling trapped and powerless because of your anxiety? Well, then you're in the right place. I bet you're even wanting to know how to stop anxiety naturally at this point. That is exactly what we're going to be going over in today's video. It is easier than you think. So let's dive right on in. Hi, I'm Dr. Kelly, Doctor of Cause Chiropractic, board certified in sports medicine, and specialized in clinical nutrition. In this video, we are going to be covering the most effective way to stop anxiety in its tracks in less than 10 minutes that doesn't require deep breathing or meditation. Then we'll be discussing a little known variable that could actually be fueling your anxiety and setting you up for multiple other health problems without you even realizing it. And then finally, I'll be sharing with you the most crucial foods you need to avoid if you would like to have diet be able to help improve your anxiety. All right, guys, let's get to it. All right, I'm sure you're dying to know, what is the most effective way to stop anxiety in its tracks in as little as 10 minutes? And the answer is to go walk it off. You see, anxiety can be the result of a buildup of something known as adrenaline, which gets you charged and amplifies your anxiety. And when you go for a walk or do another form of exercise, it helps to burn that adrenaline off. Also, there was a study done by UCLA that showed just a 10-minute walk was enough to decrease anxiety, stress, improve your overall outlook on life. And that could last and be effective for at least 2 hours, which is awesome, right? And then here's the key. If you take that walk and you go outside and it's a nice sunshiny day, the sunshine helps to recharge you, okay? It is very soothing to the body. It helps produce vitamin D, which we all critically need, super important for brain health. And ultimately, that sunshine actually stimulates different brain chemistry to get you back on track and to help you feel better, more calm, more relaxed, more focused, more able to concentrate and just get right back to what you needed to do. So get outside, go for a 10-minute walk. Actually, the cool thing with this, guys, we already know we need to be active at least 30 minutes to 90, depending on what source you're going to cite. You don't have to do that all in one fell swoop. If you're dealing with anxiety and it has more of a pattern of occurring like all day long, then what you could do is you could go for a 10-minute walk in the morning, which should get you at least 2 hours, according to the UCLA study. Go for another 10-minute walk at lunch, which will provide you another 2 hours. Go for a 10-minute walk in the afternoon. And now you've done about 30 minutes worth of activity, which your body knows no different of you doing it all together or splitting it apart. You're still going to get that benefit for your cardiovascular system and your overall health and well-being. So get outdoors and go for a walk on a regular basis, and you ultimately, very easily, will start feeling more calm. Now, I'm curious, have you ever tried this method before for trying to reduce your anxiety? Let me know in the comments down below. And I'm curious if it actually helped you or if there's something else that you've used in the past for reducing anxiety, like within moments. Let me know down in the comments. That way we can share with everybody who's here so we can all help each other be less stressed and anxious. All right, let's get in that little known variable that might actually be fueling your anxiety and setting you up for all kinds of other health problems without you even realizing it. This answer has to do everything with hydration. Now, there is a ton of different information on how much water should you actually be drinking. Is it only 8-ounce glasses of water a day? Or, there's a challenge going around right now where everybody's drinking at least a gallon of water a day. Is there such thing as drinking too much water just as much as there is drinking too little of water? So that's what we're going to get through, okay? The most accurate way to know how much water you should be consuming is to take your body weight and divide it in half. That is the number of ounces you should be consuming every single day. But here's the thing, if that ends up being more than 3 quarts, which is 96 ounces, do not drink more than 96 ounces because you can actually drink too much water. Your brain lives in like an ocean, it lives in salt water. And so if you keep drinking beyond 3 quarts without actually putting in more different types of salts that your brain needs, you're diluting out that salt water. And ultimately, things are not going to work the way that they could. And in fact, there's something called hyponatremia, which is actually life-threatening, and it's pure dilution of all the electrolytes that are in your system by drinking too much water. But let's talk about the other side of that. Most people have issues with hydrating enough, so most people are dealing with dehydration. Well, when you're dehydrated, you can actually end up with heart palpitations, which could stress you out and make you feel anxious and actually ultimately can lead people into panic attacks. It also can be something that creates more brain fog and lack of focus and concentration. I want to share a story with you to kind of illustrate the impact of being dehydrated. And this has to do with my grandmother. We called her Nana. Well, Nana, because she was getting older and she was a female and she had 3 babies, like bladder didn't work quite as well as what she'd like it to. And she didn't, especially if she was out running errands, she didn't want to have to stop and use restroom at every single place she was going. So she would just not drink enough water. Well, she, a few different times, thought she was actually having a heart attack. she would start getting, loopy in her brain, some brain fog, if you will, and dizziness. And she could even get a little bit of like tingling or numbness going up her face or down her arm. And she'd go into the hospital and they'd run all the different heart related tests on her. And ultimately, what they found out was she was dehydrated. So, dehydration can make you feel like something really bad is actually happening in your body, which will skyrocket your anxiety level and ultimately impacts your overall brain function altogether, which anxiety is a symptom of a brain that's not working properly. Okay. So drinking basically no more than 3 quarts of water a day, more specifically, half of your body weight in ounces, but less than 3 quarts, is something you need to do regularly to make sure you're staying properly hydrated, which will help your brain function better and will keep you from experiencing any of these other weird, kind of fear stimulating symptoms that could totally be fueling your anxiety. Okay. So proper hydration, super key. Now, before I get into the most crucial food to be avoiding if you want to improve anxiety through diet, I just want to remind you to click that subscribe button down below. I am producing videos around anxiety and brain health and how to achieve total body mastery on a regular basis, and I don't want you to miss out. So click that subscribe button down below. Okay, the most crucial food that you need to avoid in order to reduce anxiety through diet is sugar and everything that breaks down into sugar. Okay, so let's talk about this. I mean, sugar, it's a really hard thing to avoid. It's in like most foods that you buy, especially if it comes in a package. In fact, I like to tell my people that anything that comes prepackaged and is already prepared for you has been compromised in some way, shape, or form. And one of the compromises is it probably has sugar in it. Okay. To explain this a little bit further, I want to share with you something known as the glycemic index and then also glycemic load. So we're going to get a little technical, but hang in there. It will make total sense by the time that I'm done. Glycemic index, if you have not heard of this before, is basically taking a food and seeing how high does that food spike your blood sugar. The higher it goes, the more stressful it is on the body. So this index is, it goes from 0 to about 100. Sugar itself comes in at about 68. So it's pretty high. Okay. But there are other things that we don't even realize that have a higher glycemic index than even sugar alone, which has to do with our grains. Not saying that grains are bad. I'm just saying we shouldn't be consuming them all day long because it's constantly spiking our blood sugar, which is very stressful on the body. It is a great way to produce inflammation. Okay. So inflammation is like fire inside of your body. And when you put substances in the system that create inflammation, one of the tissues in the body that is the most sensitive to inflammation is your brain. So in order to start reducing anxiety through food, we want to start decreasing the amount of these types of foods or substances that we're consuming. And I said substances because people don't even realize it, but alcohol is like pure sugar into your system. Okay. And it's a direct offender of your brain. That's why if somebody's been drinking and they go driving, a cop is going to do a sobriety test. Those sobriety tests are not just fun things that they made up to see if you can do them. They're actually brain function tests. So if you can't walk heel, to toe in a straight line, or you can't point to your nose, or you can't reach out and point to the policeman's finger, that's not just testing to see, do you have your wits about you? It's actually seeing, is your brain functioning? And if you've had enough of alcohol, obviously your brain's not going to function because alcohol is poison to the brain. I have a 9-year-old boy and I've taught him that sugar is also poison to your brain. In fact, I've even said that it's kind of like the white devil. There's nothing good that comes from putting sugar in the system. And I'm sure you may have heard something similar to this before. Maybe you've even tried to cut the sugar out before, but found it really hard. And there's a reason for that. It is the most addictive substance known to man. It's actually 8 times more addictive than cocaine. So give yourself a break if you haven't been able to do that before. But then also maybe with this new information about how it affects your brain health and ultimately how it could be provoking your anxiety, allow that to be now the new motivation for why you start reducing this back out of your system. Now, if you're sitting there going, Kelly, what am I supposed to eat now? Or if you're even just ready to get going, I have a gift for you. If you look down in the description below, you will see a link that's going to take you to my free 7-day Eat Your Way to Better Brain Health meal plan. And I've got it all sorted out for you. I have your grocery list. I've got the actual meal plan, which was created for busy working individuals that do not have time to cook every single day. I am one of those. So I appreciate knowing how to balance all of that, and have created the meal plan for that type of a lifestyle. And then it also includes these brain healthy food recipes that have actually been kid approved that don't take very long to make. So click that link down below in the description, head on over, get your copy of my free 7-day Eat Your Way to Better Brain Health meal plan. And you guys, literally within about a week, you could notice dramatic differences in how much anxiety you're not experiencing anymore. I appreciate you being here. Stay tuned for the next video, and I will see you then. God bless.